The movie explores the gripping tale of astronauts who encounter mysterious and life-threatening challenges during their expedition to Mars. The movie begins with a scene set at a lively party hosted by Luke and his family, attended exclusively by NASA personnel. The gathering is imbued with a sense of excitement and anticipation as it celebrates the upcoming mission to Mars, where members of the NASA team aim to make groundbreaking discoveries. The party is a joyful affair, filled with camaraderie and the shared passion of the attendees for space exploration. As the night progresses, the time for departure draws near, and the partygoers begin to leave Luke's house. In a private moment, Luke expresses to his colleague Jim that he believes Jim should be the one going to Mars instead of him. He cites Jim's extensive knowledge and research about the planet, as well as Jim's deep connection with his girlfriend Maggie, who is also a Mars enthusiast. Fast forward 13 months into the future, the movie transports the audience to Mars, where Luke and the rest of the crew have successfully landed. As they begin their exploration, they stumble upon an extraordinary sight, a formation resembling a mountain made of dust crystals on the Martian surface. Intrigued by this unusual phenomenon, the team decides to capture footage of it for closer examination and further study. The astronauts suit up in their space gear and cautiously approach the mysterious formation. Luke stays back to monitor the situation from a distance, while the other crew members proceed. They deploy a sound-detecting device near the dust crystal formation, and to their astonishment, detect a voice emitting repeated patterns. In an attempt to hear the sound more clearly, they increase the electromagnetic waves, but this action triggers a dramatic and unforeseen reaction. The dust-like crystals start to move, seemingly drawing in all the surrounding dust. The team watches in awe and silence, witnessing a spectacle that defies their understanding and expectations. The crystal formation begins to swirl around its center, eventually rising high into the Martian sky, leaving the crew in a state of shock and wonder. Soon after, the crew's encounter with the mysterious Martian phenomenon takes a terrifying turn. Luke, observing from a distance, grows increasingly concerned as he perceives the vulnerability of his fellow crew members. His fears are realized when the dust formation violently propels one of the astronauts to the ground. The situation escalates rapidly as the other crew members become targets of the deadly entity. Tragically, 3 of the crew are killed by this enigmatic force, which then settles back into its original state. In a chilling transformation, Luke witnesses the dust-like substance morph into a humanoid face. Communication systems with Earth are severed as the connection is lost, leaving Luke isolated on Mars. Terry and Woody, a married couple working at the station, engage in light-hearted flirtation amidst their duties. Their routine is abruptly interrupted when they receive a call summoning them to join the rest of the team. They soon learn that Mission 1's spacecraft has lost contact with Earth. A final, fragmented message from the Mars crew is played on the screen, showing Luke trying to communicate the catastrophic events. His message, plagued by poor connection, ends abruptly, leaving Jim and the rest of the control room deeply distressed and determined to rescue the sole survivor, Luke. The team proposes a secondary mission, a rescue operation dubbed Mars Mission 2. Initially, their superiors are hesitant to approve the mission due to budgetary constraints. After intense discussion and consideration, their superior agrees to review the proposal. The team receives the green light for the rescue mission. The authorization is met with jubilation among the crew, who promptly begin preparations for their urgent journey to Mars. The narrative progresses as a rescue crew of 4 astronauts sets off on a harrowing journey to Mars. This team includes 2 couples, Terry and Woody, along with Jim and Phil. Their mission is fraught with peril from the outset. As they approach Mars, a crisis emerges on their spacecraft. A liquid leakage is detected, posing a serious threat to their safety and the mission's success. The crew springs into action, working together to locate and fix the source of the leakage. After a tense and challenging period, they manage to identify and repair the problem, stabilizing the atmosphere inside the spacecraft. However, their relief is short-lived. As they prepare to land on Mars, water leaking from the ship generates a powerful electromagnetic field, dramatically altering the ship's course and altitude. With their landing plan compromised, the astronauts have no choice but to proceed towards Mars, using their personal propulsion. During this precarious maneuver, Woody, who is feeling unwell, struggles to maintain his grip on the tether connecting the team. His vision blurs, and he begins to lose his hold, with his fellow crew members watching helplessly. Terry, Woody's wife, is overcome with shock and grief at the sight of her husband drifting away. Driven by desperation, she detaches herself from the group, intent on rescuing Woody. As she gets closer, the intense pressure and lack of oxygen begin to take their toll, making it increasingly difficult for her to proceed. In a last-ditch effort, Terry fires a tether towards Woody, hoping he can grab it and be pulled to safety. Tragically, the tether falls short, just inches away from Woody's reach. Realizing the futility of Terry's rescue attempt, and seeing her frozen in shock and grief, Woody makes a heartbreaking decision. To spare Terry further anguish and encourage her to return to safety, he removes his oxygen helmet, exposing himself to the deadly Martian atmosphere. Terry, witnessing the unthinkable, is left to mourn the loss of her husband, crying inconsolably as she makes her way back to Jim and Phil. The remaining 3 crew members of the rescue mission arrive on the Martian surface, where they discover the long-abandoned ship of their fellow astronauts. Fueled by hope and determination, they begin a thorough search of the area and examine the ship, seeking any clues that might lead them to their missing colleague, Luke. Their spirits are lifted when they find leftover oxygen on the ship, a sign that Luke might still be alive somewhere nearby. The team, now on Mars, sets about repairing the spacecraft to ensure their survival and the success of their mission. During the search, Jim, one of the crew members, is suddenly and unexpectedly attacked from behind. On the defensive, he turns to confront his assailant. Despite the attacker's disheveled appearance, with a long beard and a look of misery, Jim instantly recognizes him as Luke. Relief washes over Jim as he realizes his friend is alive. Jim quickly tries to calm Luke down, reassuring him of their presence and intention to help. However, Luke's demeanor changes from shock to joy as he realizes that his friends have embarked on a rescue mission to find him. He's especially moved by the news that they were acting on Woody's brilliant idea. The mood shifts when Luke inquires about Woody's whereabouts. Jim, with a heavy heart, informs him that Woody did not survive the journey. Luke's expression turns to one of shock and disbelief. He looks to Terry, and upon seeing her profound grief, he comes to the heartbreaking realization that Jim's words are true. In the aftermath, Luke begins to mumble incoherently, his speech unclear. The team surmises that his disjointed state is likely a result of the prolonged isolation and the trauma of losing his entire crew. They understand that Luke's time alone on Mars has taken a significant toll on his mental and emotional well-being. Luke then shares a crucial piece of evidence with the rescue team, a video from the day his crew encountered the mysterious entity and tragically lost their lives. And Terry, upon observing it, suggests that what they are witnessing resembles a dust catastrophe. The team members, all with scientific backgrounds, begin to speculate on the nature of the enigmatic phenomenon, offering various theories grounded in their knowledge. However, Luke rejects their scientific interpretations, insisting that the entity is beyond the realm of known science. To underscore his point, he presents a photograph taken after the dust event, revealing that the mysterious entity has taken on a distinctly human-like appearance. This revelation prompts the group to reconsider their initial theories, leading them to hypothesize that the phenomenon might be the work of an intelligent, non-human entity. Luke further deepens the mystery by playing the audio they recorded during their initial encounter. He explains that the low-frequency pulses they heard correspond to a 3D model of human DNA, but with a critical difference. The model is missing a pair of chromosomes. Intrigued by this discovery, Jim reflects on how they might interact with or understand this humanoid entity. His thoughts are sparked by the sight of differently colored pieces of chocolate on a nearby table, which remind him of a conversation he had with Woody back at Earth's control unit. Jim theorizes that they are being tested by this unknown being, and that completing the DNA sequence could be the key to passing the test. The team agrees with his hypothesis, but is uncertain about the consequences of either solving or failing to solve the puzzle. Determined to proceed despite the unknowns, the team faces the challenge of deciding who should approach the entity to attempt the DNA sequence. Luke, however, proposes a safer alternative. They could use a robotic rover to transmit the completed DNA sequence via radar, thereby avoiding any direct human interaction with the unknown entity. To their astonishment, Jim's theory proves accurate. Upon broadcasting the completed signal, the team witnesses an opening appear on the side of the structure, suggesting that they have successfully passed the test and unlocked a new phase of the encounter. A pivotal moment unfolds as the 3 astronauts, Terry, Jim, and Luke, approach the newly opened structure, leaving Phil behind to finish repairs on the Earth Return Vehicle, ERV. Phil is given a strict directive: launch the ERV back to Earth before the impending storm hits, regardless of whether the others return in time. As Terry, Jim, and Luke enter the mysterious structure, the entrance seals shut behind them, cutting off their communication with Phil. Inside, Jim checks his device and discovers to their amazement, that the atmosphere within the structure is similar to Earth's, safe for them to breathe without their oxygen gear. Initially hesitant, Terry eventually joins Jim and Luke in removing their helmets, finding that they can indeed breathe safely. The astronauts proceed cautiously, moving from the bright entrance into a darker space ahead. There, they encounter a stunning three-dimensional projection of the solar system. The projection vividly illustrates Mars, once a water-covered planet, being devastated by a massive asteroid, rendering it uninhabitable. This revelation is followed by the appearance of a projection of a humanoid Martian life form. The Martian entity explains that the original inhabitants of Mars were forced to evacuate the planet. One of their spaceships was sent to Earth with the intention of seeding it with DNA, in the hope of creating life that would one day return to Mars and discover their shared ancestry. In an awe-inspiring turn of events, the Martian entity extends an invitation to one of the astronauts to join them on their new home planet. As the invitation is presented, a portal-like structure opens on the floor. While Terry and Luke move towards the exit, they realize that Jim is not following. When questioned, Jim reveals that he has chosen to accept the Martian invitation. After bidding a heartfelt farewell to Terry and Luke, Jim is enclosed in a small capsule. Terry and Luke, in a desperate race against time, rush back to the ERV, arriving just as Phil is about to initiate the launch. They narrowly escape the engulfing dust storm and ascend into space, while Jim's capsule is launched from the disintegrating Martian structure, soaring towards the distant home of the Martians. As the movie draws to a close, Terry, Luke, and Phil witness a mysterious object zoom past them at an incredible speed. Terry, filled with excitement and wonder, asks if the object is Jim, capturing the profound impact of their extraordinary encounter and the enduring human spirit of exploration and discovery. The movie begins in an era where Earth's natural resources are dwindling rapidly, and humanity finds itself at a critical point. The relentless depletion of energy sources has led to a global crisis, significantly impacting daily life and prompting an urgent search for alternative energy solutions. In response to this dire situation, Lunar Industries Limited, a pioneering company, directs its efforts towards discovering a viable replacement for Earth's depleted fuel reserves.
Right now, we're the largest producer of fusion energy in the world, harvested by machine from the far side of the moon.
Their relentless pursuit leads them to an extraordinary discovery: helium-3, an alternative fuel source abundant in lunar soil. Recognizing its potential, Lunar Industries establishes the Sarang Lunar Station, strategically positioned in close proximity to the moon, to facilitate the extraction and processing of this invaluable resource. At the heart of Sarang's operations is Sam, a dedicated employee whose role is critical in maintaining the smooth functioning of the station's sophisticated harvester machines.
I got a full container of helium-3 ready to roll.
Sam's primary duty involves overseeing the harvesters and ensuring the safe dispatch of helium-3 canisters back to Earth. As the film unfolds, we find Sam engaged in the seemingly mundane task of recording a video message for his wife, Tess. Isolated by a chronic communication breakdown that has severed live feeds from Earth, Sam's only link to his family and the world he left behind is through these recorded messages. Despite the solitude of his 3-year tenure on the lunar station, Sam has adapted to his solitary existence, driven by the knowledge that his mission is vital for Earth's energy needs. As Sam approaches the end of his 3-year contract, he is informed that his return to Earth is a mere 2 weeks away. This news brings a mix of emotions for Sam, who, despite having spent a lengthy and lonely period in space, is now filled with a growing sense of impatience and eagerness to reunite with his loved ones. His solitary journey on the lunar station, coupled with the critical nature of his work, has been a testament to his resilience and dedication. As Sam's time on Sarang draws to a close in this extraordinary venture, Sam, stationed on the moon for Lunar Industries, finds solace in his routine communication with his wife, Tess. Following the completion of his work duties, Sam eagerly sends a video message to Tess, anticipating her response with a blend of excitement and longing. As he receives a message in return, his heart swells with happiness. Tess begins her video with a warm greeting, casually conversing about everyday matters. The highlight of the message is when she calls their daughter to greet Sam. This moment is especially emotional for Sam, as his daughter was still in her mother's womb when he first embarked on his lunar mission. However, the joy of connecting with his family is short-lived. As the video ends, Sam's sense of isolation deepens, his hand reaching out to the screen in a symbolic gesture of longing and loneliness. His emotions are momentarily interrupted by an alert from Gertie, his AI assistant. Gertie, the only form of companionship Sam has in the vastness of space, provides both technical support and a semblance of comfort. Despite being a machine, Sam finds himself conversing with Gertie as if it were human. Sam's routine on the Lunar station is methodical and repetitive. After the emotional moment with the video message, he proceeds to his next task, loading the spacecraft with helium-3 fuel bound for Earth. Post this duty, he immerses himself in building models from lunar soil, a hobby that offers him a creative outlet amidst the monotonous backdrop of his lunar environment. One morning, while preparing coffee, Sam is jolted by the sight of the teenage girl from his hallucination sitting on the couch. In his shock, he inadvertently plunges his hand into boiling water, screaming in pain. This painful incident confirms to Sam that the girl was merely a figment of his imagination. Despite these challenges, Sam must continue with his duties on the Lunar station. His next task involves retrieving a helium-3 canister from a harvester. However, the haunting images from his mind prove to be a dangerous distraction. As he drives towards the harvester, his focus wavers, leading to a catastrophic accident. Sam's lunar rover collides with the harvester, severely damaging the vehicle and causing a rapid loss of cabin air. In the aftermath of the crash, Sam loses consciousness, a dramatic turn of events that adds a new layer of tension and uncertainty to his already challenging situation on the moon. Sam regains consciousness in the infirmary of the lunar base, feeling disoriented and dizzy, with no recollection of the accident that led him there. As he attempts to move, he's struck by a numbing sensation in his leg, making it difficult for him to walk. During this time, he inadvertently overhears a live conversation between Gertie, his AI assistant, and the managers at Lunar Industries. Gertie, upon noticing Sam's precarious condition, expresses concern and advises him to rest more for a complete recovery. However, Sam, driven by a sense of urgency and confusion, insists on leaving the infirmary. As Sam prepares to venture out, he finds his path blocked. The sealed doors throughout the base feed into his growing suspicion that someone, possibly from the company, does not want him to explore outside. With Gertie's assistance, Sam manages to unseal a door and heads out in a rover. His journey takes a shocking turn when he stumbles upon a crashed rover outside the base. To his astonishment, he discovers an unconscious man inside the wreckage who looks exactly like him. Sam rushes the injured version of himself back to the base and immediately seeks answers from Gertie about the mysterious man's identity. The revelation that they are clones of each other leaves Sam reeling. The injured clone, now referred to as Old Sam, is badly hurt and confined to bed. As Old Sam recovers, he gradually starts regaining his memory. Eventually, Old Sam confronts the other clone, now known as New Sam. A heated discussion ensues as they grapple with their identity and existence. The intervention of Gertie, who reveals the truth about their cloning, brings a temporary halt to their conflict. Despite this revelation, Old Sam returns to his familiar routine, continuing to work on his model building. Meanwhile, New Sam approaches Old Sam with troubling information he overheard from Gertie's conversation with the company's managers. This news sparks curiosity in Old Sam, who is aware that live communication from the moon is impossible under normal circumstances. As they piece together their fragmented knowledge, both Sams become increasingly convinced that Lunar Industries has been deceiving them for years. Driven by a sense of betrayal and vengeance, New Sam begins an intense search for a hidden room within the base, a search that Old Sam dismissively mocks. In a moment of frustration, New Sam overturns the table where Old Sam is working, destroying the models but inadvertently revealing what appears to be a concealed floor hatch. Tensions between the two Sams escalate. A physical altercation ensues, driven by their pent-up stress and anger. However, the fight is abruptly halted when New Sam realizes that Old Sam is in poor health. This moment of pause amidst their tumultuous discovery reflects the complex emotions and challenges faced by the cloned Sams as they navigate the startling realities of their existence on the lunar base. As the movie progresses, Old Sam confronts a painful reality. He attempts to access the lunar base's computer system, only to find his access has been revoked, suggesting deliberate interference. This discovery leads him to a disturbing realization. The memories he holds dear of his wife and daughter might not be true. Gertie, his AI assistant, confirms his worst fears. His memories are indeed implanted. Struck by a profound sense of betrayal, Old Sam is overwhelmed with grief, realizing that he hasn't seen his wife for over 3 years. In a moment of vulnerability, he confides in Gertie that he had separated from his wife before his lunar mission. She had needed space and went to her mother's house. Fueled by this newfound knowledge, the two Sams embark on a quest for the truth. Their investigation leads them to a communication substation outside the facility.
Holy shit. I think I see something too.
They discover it's been used to block the live feed from Earth, keeping the clones in the dark about their true nature. Delving deeper, they uncover logs of previous Sam clones, all showing signs of illness as their contracts near expiration. A shocking discovery awaits them, a vault containing hundreds of sleeping clones. It becomes clear that Lunar Industries has been using clones of Sam unethically, exploiting them to avoid the costs of hiring and training new astronauts. When Old Sam returns, he starts exhibiting the same symptoms of deterioration seen in previous clones. The two Sams realize the grave danger they face. If the rescue team finds them together, they would likely be eliminated to keep the cloning secret safe. New Sam devises a plan after watching a video Old Sam had been viewing. They decide to awaken another Sam clone, with Old Sam proposing that he should return to Earth, knowing that his time is limited. New Sam, however, refuses to let him go, insisting he should be the one to leave. New Sam then reboots Gertie to erase any record of their plan. He takes a canister of helium-3, planning to use it as financial leverage upon reaching Earth. The two Sams, having formed a bond, share personal stories. New Sam recounts his first encounter with Tess. He also reprograms a harvester to crash into the jamming antenna, restoring live communication with Earth. The narrative reaches a pivotal moment when the rescue team, sent by Lunar Industries, finally arrives at the lunar base. They discover the Old Sam inside the damaged lunar rover. Simultaneously, they find the newly awakened clone of Sam. Unbeknownst to the rescue team, they have been outwitted by the clever strategy devised by the two Sams. The new Sam, who is the most recent clone, prepares to depart the moon. As he begins his descent towards his home planet, a sense of anticipation and excitement washes over him. The movie reaches its conclusion against this backdrop of turmoil and change. Thanks for watching our movie recaps. We've got something special for film fans, a curated selection of top-tier gear for an ultimate home movie experience. Click the link in the description to browse our selections on our website. Your purchases directly support our channel, helping us bring you more great movie content.